Hi artists, it's Mrs. RT, the art teacher from the Angelo School. For today's project, you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, and then I will be showing my example with crayons and marker, but you can use whatever you have at home. Crayons, markers, colored pencils, any materials that you have at home with you. So today we're going to be looking at two pictures from the artist Kandinsky, and then we are going to make artwork inspired by one of his pictures. So this is the first one that we're going to look at. This is called The Bird. And Kandinsky does a lot of abstract art. Abstract art is art that doesn't look exactly like reality, but uses a lot of shapes, color, and lines to represent an object. So this one is called The Bird. And you can take a minute and see what shapes or lines that you could see that might remind you of a bird. If you want to look at that one a little longer, you could pause the video and take a look at that. And this is the next picture that we're going to look at. So Kandinsky did a lot with color theory and practicing how different colors look when they're matched up right next to certain colors. So he did a lot of these circle and shape paintings where he could test out, it might be the same yellow on 6 different squares, but when you put it next to red, how does it look compared to when you put it next to blue or purple? So he could see the relationships between different colors and how colors might look different when they're next to other colors. So we are going to do something similar to this with our circle. We are going to make a tree. The tree might look a little bit realistic, but then instead of doing fall leaves, we're going to use the idea of this circle for all of the leaves. So this is one example that I did with a big tree in the middle and then a lot of different color circles. And for today, I'm going to use a little bit more warm colors with brown so that it looks a little bit more like fall leaves. So to start for the tree, you can start with pencil. I'm going to show you with marker so that you can see it. And I usually start with a big tree trunk. So I start on the bottom. And the tree is usually wider on the bottom than it is on the top. So I start about halfway or a little bit lower, and I'll make the base of the tree with those 2 lines. And then bring it in for the roots. And for now, I'm just going to make a line on both sides for the ground, and I'll add more detail to that after. And then since we're thinking about those circles and how all the different colors will look when they're paired with different colors, I want to make a lot of branches on this tree. So I'm going to start a branch off, and usually this part here on the base, on the bottom of the tree will be the thickest. So when you're making the branches, you just make them smaller and smaller as they go off the side. You can do little branches off both sides. So you can see this is the biggest, this is thinner, and then as the branches come off of this one, they're thinner and thinner. So I want to take a couple minutes and add a lot of branches off of this tree. And I'll show you that again on the other side. It might look a little tricky at first, but remember, it's just lines. So you can start with 2 lines coming off the base, and then 2 lines coming off that piece. And I might do another one on this side. And then you can continue that line going up. Then I'll go up a little bit more on the tree and I'll have 2 lines again. And then I do just a few small ones at the top. And that is the outline of my tree. Remember, yours can definitely look different. If you look outside, every tree that you see will look a little bit different. There's a lot of different types of trees. They all have different branches. If you want to pause the video so that you can focus on the base for another minute and keep working on your branches, you can do that. But I'm going to start to show you how I make the color. So I'm going to use both markers and crayons, but you can use whatever you have. If you just have crayons or colored pencils, you can use whatever materials you do have for this. And I'm going to use mostly our warm colors. So red, orange, yellow, little red violet. I'm going to add in some browns, maybe a little bit of green, so that they look similar to the leaves we might see outside right now. And off the side of the trees, so when we talked about abstract before, if you look outside, you'll see leaves on all of the branches of the trees, but this time we're just going to do the shapes and colors to represent those leaves. So I might start up here with this red violet circle. And I'll add some yellow on the inside. And then over here, I'll start in the middle with yellow. Add some orange. And you can look at how the different colors might look when you put them near other colors. So if you put it next to brown, does it look brighter? Does it look darker? If you put red and red violet together, how do they look? So take some time and go all around your tree. And add different size circles for the leaves. You might also want to add one or a couple on the ground too. Because if you look outside, a lot of the leaves are falling off the trees. So you could have some on the floor. Now I'm adding some with marker. If you do have markers or colored pencils, you could always add colors together as well from two different materials to see how they look next to each other. So I might do brown marker, brown crayon to see the two different types of colors. And then a different color in the middle. So you can take some time now, keep adding those circles all over the tree. You could have a lot down on the bottom, you could have a lot on the top. You can still color in the base of that tree in the sky so that you fill your whole page with color. So I hope you had a good time. Stay creative with the rest of your tree, and I'll see you next time.